Libraries are reservoirs of strength, grace, and wit, reminders of order, calm and continuity, lakes of mental energy, neither warm nor cold, light nor dark. In any library in the world, I am at home, unself-conscious, still and absorbed. Sadness is the matrix from which wit and irony spring. Sadness is uncomfortable and creative, which is why consumer society cannot tolerate it. It takes a great deal of courage and independence to decide to design your own image instead of the one that society rewards, but it gets easier as you go along. Security is the denial of life. Reading was my first solitary vice, and led to all others. I read while I ate, I read in the loo, I read in the bath. When I was supposed to be sleeping, I was reading. Yet if a woman never lets herself go, how will she ever know how far she might have got? If she never takes off her high-heeled shoes, how will she ever know how far she could walk or how fast she could run? I find that those men who are personally most polite to women, who call them angels and all that, cherish in secret the greatest contempt for them. Human beings have an inalienable right to invent themselves. Is it too much to ask that women be spared the daily struggle for superhuman beauty in order to offer it to the caresses of a subhuman ugly mate? Many a housewife staring at the back of her husband's newspaper, or listening to his breathing in bed is lonelier than any spinster in a rented room. Status ought not to be measured by a woman's ability to attract and ensnare a man. The consequences of militancy do not disappear when the need for militancy is over. Freedom is fragile and must be protected. To sacrifice it, even as a temporary measure, is to betray it. We still make love to organs and not people. That's so far from realizing that people are never more idiosyncratic, never more totally there when they make love. We're never more incommunicative, never more alone. If you think you are emancipated, you might consider the idea of tasting your own menstrual blood. If it makes you sick, you've got a long way to go, baby. Freud is the father of psychoanalysis. It has no mother. Love, 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 all the wretched cant of it, masking egotism, lust, masochism, fantasy under a mythology of sentimental postures, a welter of self-induced miseries and joys, blinding and masking the essential personalities in the frozen gestures of courtship, in the kissing and the dating and the desire, the compliments and the quarrels which vivify its barrenness. I didn't fight to get women out from behind vacuum cleaners to get them onto the board of Hoover. Female is real, and its sex, and femininity is unreal, and its gender. Gillard is as likable as Rudd is charmless. She is self-deprecating, he is ludicrously vainglorious. She is a mistress of an understatement, he is a ranter. Guilt is one side of a nasty triangle, the other two are shame and stigma. This grim coalition combines to inculpate women themselves of the crimes committed against them. If she is efficient and capable or ambitious, it is assumed that she has failed to find satisfaction as a normal woman, even to the extent of implying a glandular abnormality or sexual perversion. It is agreed that little girls should have a different physical education than little boys, but it is not admitted how much of the difference is counseled by the conviction that little girls should not look like little boys. The essence of pleasure is spontaneity. Above all, for his merciless, contemptuous treatment of Clifford Chatterley, blown to bits in Flanders in 1918, Lawrence can be damned to hell. Damned but not banned. Men are the enemy in much the same way that some crazed boy in uniform was the enemy of another like him in most respects except the uniform. One possible tactic is to try to get the uniforms off. I got him as nonsense in terms of love relationships, and so as I lost him. If we could stop thinking in terms of capture, we would not have to fear the loosening of the captive's bonds and our failing beauty, and he would not have ulcers about being outstripped or belittled. It was not until much later when, after a deep and satisfying orgasm, I suddenly realized the true meaning of the fairy tale and the nature of the magic kiss of which it speaks. Women's liberation did not see the female's potential in terms of the male's actual. The visionary feminist of the late 60s and early 70s knew that women could never find freedom by agreeing to live the lives of unfree men. Every woman knows that, regardless of all her other achievements, she is a failure if she is not beautiful. If you spread your legs because he said be nice to me and I'll give you a job in a movie, then I'm afraid that's tantamount to consent, and it's too late now to start whinging about that. If women understand by emancipation the adoption of the masculine role, then we are lost indeed. Liberty is terrifying, but it is also exhilarating. Psychologists cannot fix the world, so they fix women. Sorrow is not itself evidence of maladjustment but of the adjustment process itself. Human beings love, despite their compulsions to limit it and exploit it chaotically. Their love persuades them to make vows, build houses and turn their passion ultimately to duty. Lies are vile things, with a horrible life of their own. They contaminate the truth that surrounds them. We can only afford 2 children is a squalid argument, but more acceptable in our society than we don't like children. Some claim that one is only ever really in love once in a lifetime, others that it is better the second time around, others that the first time is the only genuine manifestation, still others that they fall in love every week or even every day. For love's sake, women must reject the roles that are offered to them in our society. As impotent, insecure, inferior beings they can never love in a generous way.